What's up, guys? This is Pedro from My Stuttering Life, where you will hear the good, the bad, the very ugly. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, but through it all, just know that you are not alone. So, let's get started. This is episode number 127, and my special guest is Pixie-Ray Price. Pixie has a reoccurrence of her childhood stammer brought on through lockdown and the trauma of losing her mother to suicide. I am honored to have her as a guest with me on the My Stuttering Life podcast. Welcome, Pixie-Ray Price.
Hello.
Hello, Pixie. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you, Pedro. How are you?
I am doing awesome. This is a huge honor. I thank you. We have a lot of topics to cover, so let's get started.
Okay.
All right. So, do you remember when you first began to stutter?
Yeah. So my we call it stammer in the UK, but you know whatevs. But so I had a stammer up until I was about 5 or 6 years old. I went to speech and language therapy when I was about that age, and it kind of went, and I spent all of my growing up life fluent, and then 2019 came back. So a bit unusual.
Does it run in your family? Are there any other family members who stutter?
You see, not that I know of, but my family was like quite small, so like I've got like aunts and aunties and things like that, but I've never. So it's difficult to explain because I don't want to disrespect my family, but we didn't talk to each other, so I don't know.
It's all good, Pixie. It's all good. You know, my mom, she had a stutter, you know, growing up. However, when she was a teenager, she had told herself she's all done with it. I mean, she told herself, I'm done.
Wow.
I'm done. And it went away, Pixie. I mean, I don't know.
No way.
I don't know if it's girl power, you know, the power of the mind. I mean, the power of positive thinking. I don't know. However, she told herself, you know what? I'm done with this. And it went away. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, ooh,
impressive.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. Unfortunately, I know that doesn't work for me.
Or me, Pixie.
I quite often go out and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna stammer today when I go and order this coffee. And I think because I've said that to myself, it's like.
Oh, I have to tell you, Pixie, every time I tell myself I'm not going to do it, guess what happens?
It happens more.
Exactly. You know, and then also whenever I go for a coffee, I'll give a different name because you know what? It's called survival for Pedro. It's survival. I want a coffee. And so, what will happen is after I give them a different name, I'll go back to my table. I'll be on my telephone, and then they are calling out that name. However, I forgot about it because I'm on my telephone, and then they have their eyes locked on you. Sir, I'm calling your name. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. That is my name. But however,
gosh.
you know what, Pixie? I got my coffee. Survival.
Well, yeah, survival.
I got to have my coffee, Pixie. Look, I got to have my coffee every day.
Oh, that is an impressive coffee size.
It's
glass.
a tiny one, Pixie, because here in Texas, everything is big. But this is, really tiny. So just FYI.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, now, so you had touched on this, briefly, that you had speech therapy. Was it helpful?
Yeah, it. But when I was when I was a child, I found it very helpful. Well, I must have, how much can you really remember when you're like 5 or 6? But the fact that after that, I was relatively fluent. I think I stumbled, and I still had cluttered speech. Like my mum would always say to me that I had verbal diarrhea because I would just speak so fast, and I think subconsciously to try and help me get over the block that was about to happen. But as an adult, when it came back and I went back into treatment in 2020, did not find that helpful to me at all. So, yeah.
All right, now let's talk about school. As you know, school is, it's rough for everybody. I mean, it's rough for everybody. But if you have a stutter or a stammer, it is like 100 times more difficult. How did you handle school with having a stutter?
Well, this is interesting. And it's only something that I found out as entering speech treatment as a adult, because I asked her, I was just like, how come I, spoke so fluently for such a long time? And I was in a documentary many years ago, and every time I go back to that, I am so fluent, but I sound like a different person completely. So what my speech and language therapist thinks is that I was subconsciously masking my speech by speaking really, really high pitched. Because I'm quite high pitched anyway, but I used to literally just talk like a baby constantly as a 20-year-old. So every time I watch rewatch video clips, I'm like, who is that? Like, what happened?
Oh, Pixie, I could tell you stories, of my school years. However, this is all about you. And so I want to ask you okay, so in school, did you have to give an introduction? And if you did, how did that go?
Well, I think because my stammer wasn't really that much of an issue growing up. I was bullied anyway, just because I was a bit unusual, and so because of that, I never really used my voice. So I guess in a way I was kind of lucky that because I didn't use my voice. If I was already being bullied without using my voice, can you imagine what might have happened?
Ooh, Pixie, welcome to my world. Welcome to my world, Pixie. Yeah, it was a little rough. Okay, now, so do you have any advice for parents, teachers, and speech therapists with regards to, children who stutter?
Any advice? I'm all for, ever since my speech impediment came back, I am all for open stuttering, open stammering. I've tried all the Maguire techniques and things like that, and I find it more effort than it's worth. So just use your voice and just try and ignore it. I know it's hard, but I do feel like it's getting that stuttering and stammering is becoming so much more wildly. What do I mean? So much more recognized that it's not as much as an issue as it was perhaps for me or you growing up as a child. It does seem like things are moving in the right direction. I don't know if you agree with that, but I've definitely noticed a difference.
Oh, yes. I mean, there is a huge, a difference, now, then, when I was, growing up, the goal in, speech therapy, it was to have me talk like everybody else. And so, because I was the only one in my school, Pixie, the only one who had a stutter, and I mean, nothing, ever came out. It was just, constant, repeating and blocking and repeating and blocking.
Yeah.
And so, when I was in school, the whole goal, it was to have me talk like everybody else. And that made me feel, like I was, damaged and broken.
Yeah.
And so, each week I had to go in. And that was the only time, I tell you, Pixie, the only time I had it, I had it, each week for a whole hour in speech, a therapy, I'm in school. It was the only time that I could just relax and take off all of the, the armor, in which I put on every time I wake up and go to school. I put on my armor because, I mean, as you know, kids are mean and cruel and bullying and mocking and teasing and beating up. I always had to, every time I woke up and got ready for school, I put on my armor. In speech therapy, I walked in, I could take everything off and just relax and do the exercises and try to be like everybody else. It's like, okay. However, now I am so happy now because now speech therapy has, taken everything into account. I mean, they are doing a holistic approach as to where they are not only helping you, have your speech, all managed. However, they're also adding a mental health aspect. They are helping you, how to handle a bully and how to handle your, self-esteem and your confidence, because I never had that. Growing up. And so now I am so happy and thankful, that.
That sounds awesome.
I know. I mean, had I had that In 1975, Pixie? In 1975, if I would have had that, oh my gosh, I would have been on a whole other path. But, everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that. And so it's all good.
Oh, you're so cute.
Your hashtag awesome. Hold on. Okay, got it. Okay, now Pixie. All right. So how about we switch gears and talk about employment? Let's talk about jobs. Had you ever experienced discrimination because of your stammer?
Yeah. So you got to try and I'll pitch the scene. So I was working as a teaching assistant in a special needs school, and this was shortly after my mum death. So I was a little bit glum, starting to maybe start stammering a bit more, and then we went into lockdown. So then I had 6 months living on my own in a flat, and that's when my speech, although I didn't know it at the time until I went back to work, had really deteriorated, but got the stammering had come back. And I think, and my speech and language therapist said that's probably, because I was on my own for 6 months, didn't have to put on a voice or anything. And then you're thrown back into going to work. So, because as a key worker, I went back first. So just imagine like a whole group, and not the stereotype, but most TAs like like middle-aged women, they've got their own little families, because it's a nice, easy job. And then I trot in after working there already for 3 years, and them already knowing me as fluent. Like, have you had a stroke? And I was just like, no, I don't know what's happening. But yeah, I mean, I did get like a lot of like, are you okay? I was just, yes. And then having to then explain, which when you've got a stammer or stutter, trying to explain anything anyway is a bit of a, a head whiz. And whatever I would, because at work, like, I was so good, I like used it, I like, like common senses, like, hi, how are you? Yeah, good, cool. Things like that, I can be fluent, but then it was like, when they would ask me anything about me, I was like, oh my God. Like, then I would just block. And I had a lot of people ask me if I was, at work, if I was on drugs, if I'd had a stroke, if I'd a big thing at the time that what there was, they were all saying, did you get COVID? And that happened after. I was like, no. So, but yeah, that's the only experience at the moment. I'm not working, but because my mostly due to my anxiety is really bad at the moment, which is affecting my speech and my tics. So I'm trying to build up the confidence I'm desperate to go back to working with autistic children in particular. But it will be really, sorry, I've gone on a bit of a tangent there. But it will be really interesting to see how my speech will affect interviews. Like, now that it's come back, knowing that, not to blow my own trumpet, but I was a flipping really good TA. And, fair play on my old school for like HR and everything, let me stay there, because I was just like, oh my goodness. The kids were fine, apart from the older ones were like, why is Pixie talking like that? I was like, oh. But yeah, when I'm ready to go back, it will be a really good experience, hopefully not too traumatic, to see how this could play a part in my employment prospects. If that makes sense.
Oh, it does, Pixie. It does. Because, I mean, well, to clarify for, everyone around the world who is hearing this podcast, a TA is a teacher's aide? Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, now, I want to talk about the lockdown. We call it here, our pandemic and whatnot. Okay, now, before all that happened, I was in the office. I mean, I learned all these skills and techniques, and I was good with human beings. I was good with my coworkers, my managers. Pedro was good. And then in March of 2020, when all this, COVID happened, and so, I was told, Pedro, here is a headset and here is a webcam. From here on out, you'll be doing everything from home. And this was on a Friday, Pixie, a Friday.
Great.
And I mean, I don't have to tell you, Pixie, believe me, I don't have to tell you that this has pushed people who stutter completely out of their comfort zone. Completely out of their comfort zone. And so I was handed a headset and webcam on a Friday. And then on Saturday, Pixie, I spiraled. Ooh, it's what Pedro does. I spiraled. I mean, am I able to do this? I mean, how am I going to do this on Zoom or Teams or Skype? I mean, I spiraled the entire day. I didn't eat. I didn't drink anything. I was just in my room thinking, holy mac and cheese, I don't know if I can do this. And then on Sunday, the old Pedro came out and said, look, survival. It's about survival. And so I called a buddy. I said, look, here's what I got to do. So I need for you to help me to practice. And so, I created, a Zoom meeting, a Teams meeting, a Skype, and we practiced for hours. I mean, I cannot thank him enough because he helped me to get over the hump. And then on Monday, when I had to do it, Pixie, I told everybody. I told everyone at the onset. Hi, good morning. I'm Pedro Peña. I have a speech impediment. I have a stutter. So if at any time I have a block, it is not your internet connection. It's just Pedro. And if I have a repetition, it's all good. I'm going to get it out. It may take me 8 hours, but guess what? I'm going to get it out. And once I tell that to everybody so that, it's out there, it's like, okay, now I can do what I now have to do because it's my job. But so how did you handle this new, normal, Pixie, with having the headset and webcams? Had you, did you have to deal with that?
Well, because of my profession at the time as a teacher's aide, as you guys would call it, we didn't. That was mostly down to the teachers. So I literally did 6 months of just training, like online training. It was very boring. And it took me a bit longer to be able to go back because I was deemed as medically vulnerable because of my asthma. But I know that the UK and the US had it slightly differently, but in the UK they were like, oh, if you've got asthma you must not leave the house, and they're like, oh no, change their mind, you can. Okay, so can I go to work or not? So I didn't have to experience any of that, but what I did experience is loneliness, like, which, you know, I think everyone did. I was at home on my own. I'm but so right. I say, like, literally for 6 months, because I've never liked talking on the phone anyway, maybe because of my social anxiety, and nobody was calling me, so I was just like, fine. But I did get really good at gaming, like. So is that Xbox? Yeah, I've got both. I'm a bit of a show off there. um, but yeah. So in those 6 months that the UK was in lockdown with the pandemic, I literally didn't talk to anyone, and I think that's wow. I didn't know until I started getting back into speech and language therapy, and she did this. My therapist then said that, like, it's probably got back to this point because you had that 6 months of no social interaction. So, honestly, Pedro, obviously, our stories are different. So I was so fluent for such a long time, but I so wish that somebody could experience that, like, going from being fluent to
Oh yes,
it's horrid.
Oh yes. I mean, I tell you, Pixie. I mean, this whole, COVID. It hit us. It hit us hard.
Yeah.
In all aspects. And so, what I have learned is that we need people. We need that interaction.
Yeah.
Because we are, believe it or not, we are social animals. We need each other. We need that interaction. And so, in COVID, I'm here in my studio. I have every electronic device, Pixie, that you can think of.
I'm just looking at your setup. So I'm just like, I want to go.
Ooh, Pixie, let me tell you, I have everything in here. However, I still felt alone. I felt alone. And so it's like, oh my gosh. But, now that we are, coming out of it, I feel hopeful, so, oh yeah. Now, you had just touched on previously the telephone, but I want to get the whole story. So we are going to talk about some ADLs, and those are activities of daily living. Okay, and they, and so we will talk about the telephone. How do you do at restaurants, and how do you do at a drive-through here in the States or in the UK, takeaway. So how about we tackle the, first one? How are you at the telephone?
Terrible. This is easier because I can see you, and you can't see me, so I'm really sorry. But generally, I find having to speak on cue, especially when I can't see the person, completely sends me into the sweats. I personally find the just talking about it, the phone, the most difficult, and I don't really know why. It is. But I'm really trying to challenge myself on that. But by making phone calls, they're still like a lot of the time. Thank you. I get my I had to check my cat in the other day to have his castration, and I was just like, I can't be bothered with this stress and the tiredness that it brings me. So can you do it, please?
Ooh. Let me tell you, Pixie, you are speaking the truth, Pixie. You are speaking the truth. The telephone, it was my nemesis. Pixie, for decades, until I told myself, look, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to conquer the telephone, because in the world, they're everywhere, and you are going to have to learn to use it, because if you don't, it won't look good for Pedro. And so what I did, Pixie, is I worked for an insurance company, and they had these telephones. Ooh, I hated them. But what I did was I went on eBay and found one just like it. And so I ordered it. And so I had it at home, Pixie. I did not connect it. It was just a dummy, telephone. I put it on top of my bed, and here's what I did, Pixie, for half a year. Every day for half a year. I practiced making telephone calls and receiving telephone calls. I brought up all of my high school acting experience, and then I would go, bring. Hi, good morning. I'm Pedro Peña. How may I help you? And then, I would also, practice, making a telephone calls. And so every day, Pixie, every day for half a year, I did it. And I have to tell you, Pixie, I know we're all different. Our journeys, our stories are all different. However, we have that common denominator that we have a stutter. And for Pedro, after that half year, no more anxiety or fear. All gone, Pixie. All gone. So in half a year, it became all boring, extremely boring. And so the day after, in my office, I heard a telephone. It rang in my office. I picked it up. Hi, good morning. I'm Pedro Peña. How may I help you? And let me tell you, Pixie, I did a little happy dance. I was like, look what I did. Look what I did. And I don't have to tell you, Pixie, this is hard work. We have to work 100 times harder than everybody else to only do the most basic of tasks. And so,
no, that, yeah.
And the most important part, every coach will tell you, in every sport, in every aspect of life, every coach will tell you, if you want to get better at anything, you need to practice. You need to practice. Yeah. And so, what I have learned is that, practice doesn't make perfection, because I don't believe in perfection. What it does is practice makes permanent.
Oh, I like that.
And let me try, Pixie. If I have to answer the phone, hey, good morning. I'm Pedro Peña. How may I help you? It just rolls off of my tongue. It's like, woo, look what I did. Look what I did. I spent half a year every day, Pixie, every single day. I looked like an idiot, but who cares? Who cares? It's called survival. Pedro has to survive on the telephone because everybody's got one. So this is what I have to do, and I did it. It took half a year, but I did it. And that was a huge hurdle. So yeah. Wow. The telephone.
You inspire me.
The telephone. All right. So, Pixie, let's talk about ordering at a restaurant. How does Pixie do at a restaurant?
Pixie doesn't go. No, right.
You're killing me, Pixie. You're killing me. So how does Pixie do at a restaurant? And take number 2. Hold on. I got all kinds of props here. Hold on. And take number 2. All right. Okay, Pixie. So here we go. All right. So how do you do at a restaurant?
Okay. I especially when when I started to allow my speech to be the way that it is, that really it was a catch-22 because I was just like, I'm being my true self, but this is odd. This is I was so I kind of like caused extra social anxiety on myself. So I was like, I'm not going anywhere because I can't talk. So it's only been recently that when going somewhere like a restaurant, I will challenge myself to make the order. But at the moment, I can only do that with the support of my partner. Like I'm really trying to work up to being able to like go to a cafe or a restaurant to challenge not only my speech but like my social anxiety as well. But it's a process.
Oh my God!
But yeah.
Yes, go.
No, thank you. Normally, when my speech did start to get stammering again, I just kind of started shutting off invitations. I was just like, nah, I'm all right. Don't want to. But I'm working on it, Pedro.
Yes,
working on it.
Working it nonstop, working it to the top. Look, I tell you, Pixie, I mean, you're hashtag awesome because, we work hard. We work hard. At the end of the day, I know that you also experience this. At the end of the day, you're exhausted, drained.
Oh, gotcha.
Physically, and mentally, psychologically, environmentally, you're just exhausted.
Yeah, everything.
Yes, I'm right there with you, girl. I'm right there with you. And so,
yeah, like, no offense to you, like even this is gonna. I'm probably going to need to go to bed straight up. Like,
let me tell you, Pixie.
I'm done.
Pixie, after we're done, I'm taking a nap. But it's all good. It's all good. Okay, now let's talk about takeaways. It's what, in the UK, it's called a takeaway. Here in the States, it's called a drive-through. How do you handle it over there in the UK?
Okay, so we do have drive-throughs. Now we've got like a Starbucks and a McDonald's. Again, pretty similar to the whole restaurant scenario. I don't drive myself, so I would always be a passenger. And I'll just get the person that I'm with to do it for me. But it's really, this is so interesting actually, because I actually filmed the first time of me ordering at a drive-through on my TikTok. And when I watch that back now compared, because I keep trying to do it at least once every 2 weeks, because then I can look back and see my progression. Because sometimes if you have like a really bad day, it's like, are these little challenges I'm giving myself, are they working? And I very often have to go back to the first one where you can just see the panic. For the next one where I kind of look a little bit more like, swish, I want my coffee, please. And I want it now. But I'm just, what I'm getting there. I am finding the more that I practice it, the better it's getting.
Ooh, I have to tell you, Pixie, that is fantastic. And I know, and you know, and everyone knows, if you are a person who stutters, in here, Pixie, in here, we have such courage. We have such strength that we don't have a clue as to how much we have inside.
No, you're right.
And if you keep on practicing and practicing, let me tell you, it's going to come out, Pixie. Ooh, I mean, and when it comes out, watch out, world, because Pixie's going to go, ooh, she's going to rock it out and go to every takeaway and drive through. And she's going to get like 100 coffees because she's #confident, #awesome. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But we have, and I truly believe this, we have a light. We have a light, and it shines super bright. And what I tell everybody all around the world, people who stutter, we are creative. We are resilient. We are courageous. And we are resourceful. Woo! Can I get an amen up in here? Okay, sorry.
Oh, I knew you couldn't see me, but I was bouncing with you, Dad.
Okay, so you know, to all those out there, okay, we're having some, a video obstacle. However, what I will do, Pixie, I'm going to mail you a webcam. And so that way for our next one, because I know, Pixie, I know that we are doing a follow-up. For the next one, you will have a webcam, and we're going to rock it out visually.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's all good. Okay.
Wow, thank you.
Because I support everybody. I support everybody. Because my goal on our earth, okay, I have a goal. Support each other. Lift each other up. That's the only reason why I'm here. That's the only reason. Okay, so let's head back over here, Pixie. Whoop. Okay, back to one. Okay, Pixie. So I want to ask you this question. So do you think it's important for people who stutter to have a thick skin?
I think it's easier said than done. I'm not gonna lie. I wish that I had a thicker skin, because I do get really affected. I've currently got a situation going on, where an employee at a supermarket mocked my stammer, and I'm upset with how much I let that affect me. But you get back up, you try again, and I kind of like at the moment, my partner's dealing with the situation. He's just been there actually to get an update. But I wish that my skin was thick enough that I could have gone and confronted them myself and been like, excuse me, I've actually got a speech impediment, and what you just said was really painful to me. But I'm not quite there yet. I'm getting there, I think. But when it happened, I had such like a big queue of people behind me that I was just like, I can't. I was just like sweating. I was just, oh my God, all right, bye. But yeah, the same for you. Is it?
Let me tell you, Pixie. I mean, you know, I'm a little bit older than you are, so I thought I was good. You know, I thought I had a thick skin, you know, because, you know, my, grandmother, she had a statement, and it's true. It's true. And she country. I mean, she like super country. And she said that people are going to talk about you from the day that you are born until the day that you die. Why expend all that energy on what other people think of you? And so I thought, that is profound. That is profound. Because what happened to you at the supermarket happened to me on a Zoom. I was giving a training, and I mean, it was rough. It was rough, Pixie, but I did not give up. I did not give up.
Yeah.
I kept on going. And then a week after, I heard that a person who was in there had made a comment that I did not know how to talk, and that, you know, and did my office know that they had a person who could not talk. And
oh my God.
Let me tell you, Pixie, I thought I was okay until I heard that comment. Until I heard that comment. And it put me into a spiral. I mean, I doubted everything. Imposter syndrome. Hello, it's Pedro. How are you?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, Pixie, I had to get help from people around me, from all of my good people around me. And you know who you are, Tracy and Jehovah and all the other people. All y'all know. And I mean, these amazing people, they helped me to pull out of it. It took me 3 months, Pixie, 3 months to get her out of my head, because she had lived in my head rent free for 3 months. All I could hear was her comment, you know, in that I did not know how to talk. But
I can see you getting sad. I want to give you a hug.
Okay, it's all good.
I'm hugging the phone.
It's all good.
I'm hugging you.
I have amazing people around me, you know, and they had, you know, I was in, you know, darkness. However, they had pulled me out. They pulled me out. And now, I mean, you can tell me anything. I'm ugly. I mean, who cares? Because I know I'm awesome. I know I'm awesome. But I mean,
you're pretty. But yeah.
And words hurt.
I agree.
And words hurt. And so, you know what? I take it day by day. I know that you're awesome. And I know that Pedro's awesome. So we are going to keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping
and
on.
rocking it out. All right. All right, Pixie. So I have another question for you. So I want to ask you, the you know, legal age to drink here in Texas is 21. In the UK, in your area, what is the legal age to drink?
I think in the UK it's 18.
Okay. All right. So, and you are 20, right?
Okay.
You're killing me, Pixie. You're killing me. All right. So, have you ever?
I passed 18 a long time ago. But yeah, 20 will do. I'll take that.
Hold on. Who is hot in this studio? All right. So here we go. And back to one. All right, Pixie. So, have you ever partaken in alcohol? And if you did, had you noticed your speech had improved or gotten worse?
Well, this is really interesting. I do drink. I am of age. I'm not 20, but thank you very much. I purposely left that out of my email to you. I was just like, let's ignore the age section. I am an enigma. But anyway, again, back to the question. Sorry. I actually find that alcohol reduces my stammer. But because I've got a diagnosed tic disorder, I'm always in a catch-22. So I'm like, all right, let's have a drink, and you'll be like really fluent, but your tics are gonna go mad. I'm just like, what do I want? But it's quite common, I think, for people with speech impediments to experience facial tics. But mine have just decided they just want to go everywhere. I'm like, okay, fine. But what about you? Sounds really interesting.
I'm so glad you asked, Pixie. Okay, so I ask, every guest, and I mean, it's split right down the middle. You have half, which they have told me that it makes it worse, and then the other half, I mean, it goes away. It gets, better. And for Pedro, because I can only speak for me, Pixie, for Pedro Peña, PP. So for Pedro, if I have 2 drinks and I only drink the rum and Coke, that's all I drink. If I have 2 rum and Cokes, I'm good. What stutter? Is there a stutter? Is there a stutter? But I've had people tell me, Pedro, you should drink all day. No. I cannot. It is not a viable option. And so every now and then, when I go to the pub or to the club, to rubbing, I can still drop it. I can still dance. So every time I go out, occasionally, all right, I get only 2, 2 of the rum and Cokes, and I am good the entire evening. I'm having the best time ever, and I've had people tell me, as that's happening, I am not focused on my speech. What I am doing is I am being present and having a good time. And so I thought, that's interesting. That but I can only do 2. If I do more than 2, no, Pixie, I'm on top of that table. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Only 2, Pixie. Only 2 for Pedro. FYI. From ME to YOU. Okay. All right. Okay, Pixie. So we are going to switch gears a little bit. Okay. So you were talking about tics earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have a lot of tools in my toolbox to help me if I have a block or if I have a repetition. And so what I will do is I will go into that toolbox, and pick out one out of so many to help me get over a block or a repetition. And I have been told, Pedro, that's not healthy. But look, it's called survival. Survival. And so, what I will do is, I will either tap my head or tap my leg or tap the ground. My eyes will close. My arms will go all over the place to help me get out of a block. I may use an accent, not well, but I will use it to help me get out of a block. Have you ever, done that as well, Pixie?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that's really interesting, actually, hearing you say you put on accents, because going back to what my speech and language therapist said about when I used to talk like a baby and it would go away. If I put on anyone's voice, or I can act out a monologue if I've read it and I've learned it and be totally fluent. But then someone's like, how should I? I'll be like, so, so yeah, that particular segment's always staying. I would like that one to go away. I definitely find that when I am stuck, I'm doing it now. I'm tapping a rhythm of my hands, so I don't, because I lost it. I found that my sort of like, I don't, movement that I have, again, I guess, like in my toolbox, they do often change. So like to begin with, it would be like I do like a little hand thing, which would kind of like, it felt like it resetted the brain. At the minute, this puking noise one keeps popping in, but again, it feels like it's resetting that sentence. Tapping, I find that really helpful. But I try personally. I try not to use that as often, because for me anyway, because I'm so like vocal. If I'm like there going and then suddenly I'm like, I would like to make an appointment, please. But yeah, similar to you, I've got a lot of things, but I think I use them mostly like subconsciously. I think I don't know. I think maybe my body goes into like fight or flight. So just like, wow, what have you got? And it was like, throw that, and okay, say bye.
Oh, Pixie, I think we're twins. Because, let me tell you. I mean,
well, we're peepees, so.
Hold on, I can't breathe. Hold on. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm good. Hold on. How's my heart? Okay, I'm good. All right. Okay, now, Pixie, you were talking about doing a monologue and not stuttering. I find that fascinating. And here's why, Pixie. In high school, I was in, I was asked to join a drama club. And so, yeah. And these were the only kids, let me tell you, Pixie, the only kids who were nice to me and who had told me, Pedro, you can do anything. And so, as you were talking about, if you read a monologue, you don't have any issues. When I am doing a play, Pixie, when I am a character, I immerse my everything into that character. And guess what? That character does not have a stutter. And therefore, Pedro does not have a stutter. So let me tell you, when I was in plays, I could see the people in the audience, their eyes open and their mouth open because they, I can't hide this. They know that I have a stutter. And when I'm on stage, I'm not Pedro. I am that character. And there are people who are like, how can you do that? Well, when I was growing up, I'm isolated from everybody else because, no one, had wanted to hang out, with a kid who couldn't, who could not talk. And when I did, I would spit and sputter. And so what I would do is in my head, I would create a world, in which I could do anything. AKA, I was acting in my own head. And I could do anything in that sphere. And so, now I am a voice actor. However, I'm in training still. And when I'm handed a script, I have everything here on my script, and I'm here in my studio. It's all blue because it's, calming. I am behind the microphone. I hit record, and I kid you not, Pixie, I'm in a whole different world, and everything just all comes out. I don't know how to explain it. However, in my head, I have a switch, and when it heads into, actor mode, it turns on, and then I do it. However, when I do a cold read in front of people, horrible, stutter, block, horrible. However, when I'm all by myself, behind the microphone, I have a script, I read it, I put everything I'm into it. It's like, it's magic. So, it's, you know what? It's a head scratcher, Pixie. It's a head scratcher.
No, but I get it. And I think I agree with you. We are twins. I'm so glad almost to hear you say that. So I'll try and get through this bit as quickly as I can. But I've always been involved in theatre. I was a dancer mostly, but as I got older, I progressed more into acting. And up until my speech went back, I was in a lot of jam performances. I had a few speaking roles, which were fluent, perfect. Obviously, the pandemic, and as I've explained, and my speech got badly back. And now that I've recently moved to live with my partner, so I'm in a different side of the country, and I'm desperate to try and get back into theatre, but I'm terrified because I have heard stories like yours where when you're acting or something, it goes away. But at the moment, I'm a little bit too scared to have that experience of going auditioning, not being able to speak, because I get a lot my TikTok videos, when I do voiceover videos, I get a lot of comments like, "Oh, you didn't stammer." I'm like, "Yeah, because I wrote it down and I practiced it 3 times over." But yeah, oh my god, so you're into sorry.
I mean,
excitement overload.
it's all good. It's all good. And I mean, I get, told a lot, Pedro, there is a lot of rejection. I said, I got this. Look at my life. I have lived a life of rejection. So, I mean, it's all good. It's all good. If they tell me no, I just move on. I move on because my entire life, of having a stutter, I mean, good Lord, Pixie, I had been rejected. I mean, I mean, just everything under the sun. So I'm accustomed to rejection. And so if I hear it, from a casting, a director, or an agent or whatnot, it's all right. I will, I will, take it in and put it into a box and put it away and move on and move on. And then, I will do audition after audition after audition, and it's okay because I know that in the whole world, I know, that they need a Pedro, to do a promo, a movie trailer. I mean, I know that I have a spot out there. I just have to find it. I know it's out there. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, because I do really miss it, so I've gone from doing I know in America you don't have pantomimes, do you? But I used to be in panto every year, and then my speech came back. So then for the last 4 years, I've not done anything, and I do miss that. I do miss the aspect of going out and being with people on your level, more, in a creative way. But I'm still working up to get there, Pedro. I've got the application form to join our local theatre group, but I'm so I've had it for about a month. I'm like, maybe soon.
I mean, it is all good, Pixie. You have Pedro here in Texas. If you want to practice, you just let me know. I will be more than happy because I love acting. I love it.
Oh my God, me too.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so I want to ask you this question. Do you, go through phases, in your speech, as in, you have days where everything comes out, and then you have days where nothing comes out. Do you experience that as well?
Oh God, yeah. So I constantly live with imposter syndrome. Yeah. So pretty much most of today, I've been quite fluid. So I was I was talking to my partner. I was just like, this podcast is going to be rubbish. I'm really fluid today. And then as soon as you go on, I'm like, hello. you can just never predict it. But with people that know me in real life, they seem to get it. I get most of my hate from my TikTok platform. They're like, you are so fluent then. Your speech, you're cured. I'm like, no, that was just a good 15 seconds. It really annoys me. And I don't know if this is just a me thing, but it really annoys me. And people are like, oh, you did so good, Dad. I'm like, I'm not a bloody baby.
Ooh.
People seem to think that if you have a stammer or a stutter, it should be on every single word. I'm just like, that's not. How many more videos can I make to educate you?
Oh, Pixie. We are so twins because, I mean, let me tell you, there are days everything comes out. It just flows like all kinds of butter. Flows like butter. And there are days nothing comes out. And so I have been told on those other days, you are just faking it for attention. You want attention.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I choose this for attention. Think about it. Why would I want to put, myself out there for years,
Yeah.
on YouTube and podcasting? Why would anyone fake this? And you made a great point. It comes when it wants to. It's random.
Yeah.
It's random. I cannot explain it. I have no control over it. I mean, I have no control. It comes out when it wants to come out. And it don't matter if it's 2 a.m. or at 2 p.m. It does not matter. It comes out whenever it wants to come out. I have no control over it. No control. All that I can do is talk and be awesome. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But do you have days like say like on a fluid day and you've not stammered and say it gets to like 6 p.m. Do you ever have days you're like, am I cured? Like what? Or is that just a me thing?
I don't even think about it. I mean, I just, I go through my day and I mean, I don't know. And that's interesting. That is interesting. Okay, so I want to ask you this. I mean, I don't like to ask it because it brings up a lot of, type of emotions, but I just have to ask you. Can you sing?
Not well.
Not well. Because I have been told for years, I don't want you to talk to me. I want you to sing it to me. And so, I find that extremely hurtful and condescending. However, I can sing, however, not well.
Yeah.
If I dream everything I want to be, if I dream all the possibilities, if you just believe in your wildest dreams, they will come true. So, thank you. I'm here all week. Thank you. I'm here all week. But, I tell people that I am going to tell you. I'm not going to sing it to you. Has that ever happened to you, Pixie?
Yeah, so interestingly, I remember that is how I got over my stammer as a kid, because I was 5, 6. It's a lot more acceptable for a 5 or 6-year-old to sing. It's cute. As an adult, and that's actually the advice that my speech and language therapist gave me as a kid is sing. I was like, okay, hello, it's Pixie. Just bring on the bullying, please. But as an adult, I've never had anyone in person say it to me. But I get it mostly on social media. They're like, just sing. Mel Tills can sing. I'm like, I'm not going to burst into song. I'm a grown-up. For God's sake. So I did I posted a video on my TikTok the other day of me singing just to prove. I was like, look, I can sing. It's not the most joyful sound, but and it is fluent. And I did some research into that. It's because singing and speech come from 2 different parts of the brain. In the same way, I don't know if it's the same with you, but when you're stuck on a stammer, you can say any other word, like even a curse word, fluently, but then the second you go back to your what you actually want to say, it's not, because it's 2 different sections of your brain which are working, and it really frustrates me. I'm just like, okay, I will sing to you all the time.
It's quite lovely.
Right.
It's quite lovely. Thank you, Pixie. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now, I had heard a story about the actor Samuel L. Jackson, that he had a stutter. I don't know if it's all true or not. However, I had heard that he had a stutter, and how he got out of it, he curses every word. And so I thought, well, I can't do that. I mean, no, I cannot say, a curse word every single time. No, I can't do that. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
But yeah, I think I have heard that about Samuel L. Jackson. I've not read more into it, but I don't know, I hate to admit it, but yes, quite often I will get stuck, and if I'm really stuck, I will just say, and then try and go back, and people are always like, but you just said that word, fine. I'm like, yeah, I know, I don't know why.
I mean, I get that all the time, all the time. Oh, good Lord, it's exhausting. All right, so here is a hot topic. Okay, Pixie. So we have a couple of hot topics. Here's the first hot topic. And this is hot. This is hot. All right. Okay. So here we go. All right. So do you let others help you finish your sentences?
I've probably got a select group of friends that I have permitted that's okay. So, like, say for instance, my gramps, he knows that it's okay, and my partner, they know that it's okay, because they know how much it can exhaust me. But like, people that are outside of my like, immediate friendship group, I'm personally just like, shut these up. Because they do, like, say, like, with my gramps and my partner, they know me inside out, so they're quite often right. Sometimes they're not, and I'm like, shut up. But like, with other people, I hate it when they do it in shots. I know they don't mean to, they think they're helping. But like, when I'm just like, oh, can I get they're like, milk? I'm like, no. And they're like, what? So there are certain people that I almost like have given permission. Other people, I'm just like, please don't do that. Because it's really invalidating. And it's just like, why are you in such a rush?
Yes. It's like, I have all the words in here, and they will come out here. Okay. But just, I need time. I need time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you handle having a bad day, speech-wise?
Well, that's a tricky one to answer, because I really wish that I could say that, I just go up there and do it, but I don't. On days when it's really bad, I will just let my partner talk for me, and that's something that I do want to work on, because it really, on days like that, it does really affect me that I'm not using my voice, but I can also feel that it's going to be too much of a struggle, and I don't have the energy for it. What about you? I'm so intrigued to know.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Pixie. So, if I have just a horrible day, at the end of the day, I turn everything off, and then I take off my shoes and take off my socks and go for a walk. My home is right near the ocean, and so I go and walk on the beach, and I clear everything out of my head, and I believe this wholeheartedly. If I am by the ocean, it recharges me, and it gives me all of the positive, energy that I need to tell myself, you know what, tomorrow I'll do it again, and it will be okay. And it will be okay. Because I do all of my positive affirmations. I tell myself I am okay, I'm safe, and I'm loved. And so, as I keep on telling, myself that, as I am, at the ocean, on the beach, it really helps me to just have everything out. And then tomorrow, it will be a new day. It'll be a better day. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I live opposite the ocean. I should probably start doing that.
I mean, it gives you so much energy. I mean, I kid you not, Pixie. I mean, you will be recharged. It's awesome. Okay, so here is a head scratcher. So I ask everybody, and all of their answers are split right down the middle. But it's a head scratcher. So when you are alone, can you speak without stuttering?
You see, that's always interesting because I don't ever talk aloud to myself. But what I have found is, say for instance, the only experience that I can probably give is when I'm filming a TikTok video. If it's just me talking to the camera and looking at myself, I seem to be quite fluent. The second I look away, all hell breaks loose. And that's mostly is when I get a lot of people be like, oh, you were so fluent there. I'm like, I think it's got something to do with me staring at myself. So I think that's probably why it's not been that fluent for me today, because I can't see me. So I'm really sorry about that. But apart from that, I don't walk around the house talking aloud to myself. When I talk to my cats, I don't stammer, but that's because you have cat voice on. Hello, baby.
Oh,
what
Pixie. Pixie. See, I mean, when I am alone, and when I go over my calendar in my head, I talk out loud, and I still block and repeat and stutter. And when I to talk to my I have a dog, and so when I talk to her, I still block and repeat, and she looks at me like, her. It's like, what do you want me to do? It's like, okay, let's go outside and potty. Yeah. So, it's like, yeah, I mean, we're all different, but it's all good because we're all awesome. Awesome.
We are all awesome.
Okay, Pixie. It's all good. Okay, now, do you find that your stammer gets worse, if you are stressed out, if you are anxious, or just exhausted, or just all three?
Pretty much all three. The only one that it doesn't really seem to affect is anger. So say if I'm really projecting my voice and I'm always fluent. I'm just oh, at least I can shout. But anxiety for me is always a huge one. Exhaustion is a funny one for me because I go from not sounding like I have a stammer, but just sounding drunk because I'm just I think I've now got a lisp as well. Oh, and interestingly, just as an FYI, this ever happened to you, I at the moment I've gotten even though it's snowing in the UK, I've got an obsession with eating ice cubes. And I ate so many the other day on a bad speech day. So my face was all numb, and I was trying to talk, and you stammer at the same time. I was like, my partner was like, "You all right?" So I was like, calm down.
Oh, Pixie, we are so twins. Oh my goodness. I mean, and you were talking about anger. When I'm angry, the same way. There is no time to stutter. Pedro is at a higher level of anger and everything is coming out. Woo, I'm not even thinking about a stutter because, I want to get out all the anger. And, it comes out. And people, it's like, well, how can you do that? I don't know. But when I'm angry, when I have things in my mind that need to come out in an angry way, it just all comes out like butter, comes out like country butter. But it's just interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, because interestingly as well, I took my partner's mum shopping yesterday or the day before. And she's really deaf. Like she's a very elderly woman. And I found that so interesting because I had to keep projecting my voice for her to hear me. I didn't stammer pretty much all day until I got back home because I was so used to being like, what we need now is... But I found that really interesting. I was just like, oh, okay.
Pixie. We could talk for days on that issue, but let's move on a little bit. Let's keep on trucking, Pixie. All right. So, has this ever happened to you? If you have an appointment, either, a doctor's appointment, a dental appointment, if you have any type of appointment, and then you walk in, to the office, and there's an admin person who is at the front desk, and, and they greet you. Hi, good morning. What is your name? And then you have a block. But I'm not talking like a regular one, Pixie. I'm talking it's a block. It's a long block. And then the admin person asks you, did you forget your name? Has that ever happened to you? Pixie-Ray Price.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I pretty much always stammer on P's. So having a PP name is just like great. I've had more so when I've been on the phone, like to my doctors to book an appointment, they've just hung up on me. I have had it on one occasion. I'm trying to remember where I was. I think I was getting my COVID jab. So I don't know how they did it in Texas, but like it was almost like a 1 in 1 out thing. You had to give your name. And because I could tell that it was like so fast paced, I was just like, oh God, right, I need to get this out quickly. So my brain was going, okay, Pixie-Price. We got there, your name, and they were like, you all right? Do you know your name? But I've had that happen quite a lot of times. More so like where I used to live, to go pick up a prescription, but I would just write it out on my like notes on my phone and just show them. Just like, I can't be bothered with the stress. This is going to give us both.
Ooh, let me tell you, Pixie, if I had a quarter for every time that happened to me, I would have a castle in Ireland, a castle in England, and then here in the States, a big old house on the beach, another one. I cannot tell you how many times that has happened to me. The old Pedro, I would rage on them, Pixie, rage on them. But the new Pedro, I'm all about education. I'm going to raise awareness and educate that person. And so that way, the next time they have another person in front of them that has a stutter or a stammer, they are now educated and better equipped to handle that person. Because I believe that when you know better, you do better. That's just me.
Well, yeah, and that goes back to like what the current supermarket situation we've got going on. Like, we've been reiterating constantly, like, we're not doing this for vouchers. I don't want him fired, especially in this like market. I just want some education, because I don't want, say, God forbid, like a younger person than me goes in and that happens to them, and then I'm not even like that strong, but they're not, and that's, I just couldn't deal with that. But yeah, it's all for education on this end too, really.
Yes, it's all about education. The more you know, the better that you will do. I believe that.
Absolutely.
All right, so here is a deep question. It's deep. I ask everyone on my podcast. The answers are split right down the middle, and I respect everyone's answer. So I want to ask you this question, Pixie-Ray Price. Do you consider stuttering as a disability?
Yes. And it's taken me a long time to realize that for myself, but it's a neurodivergency, isn't it? So therefore, as far as I'm concerned, it makes us disabled, but not unable. We're still able to do anything. We just take a bit more time. What's your thoughts? I'm curious now.
I believe as you do, 100%. And I thank you for that, Pixie. I thank you for that.
Oh,
all right. So, had you ever thought about, about your stammer hindering your career path?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Going back to what I was saying earlier, at the moment I'm unemployed, but like my goal is I want to get back into special needs teacher's aid, as you guys call it. But I don't know how my speech will interfere with the interview process, because I know that I'm so able to do the job. I'm really good at it, but I don't know how people, even working in a special needs education environment, would react to having a neurodivergent teacher's aide. So I keep you updated on that, because I am curious. Give it a few months, maybe, and we'll find out.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, what I tell everybody is that we can do anything. We can do anything. And so I had a guest on a couple weeks ago. He is from the UK. His name is Moen Davies, and he's on a TikTok as the Broken Record. And
yeah, I think I watched that one.
Oh my God, he's amazing. He is amazing, and he has a goal of being a journalist. However, he is apprehensive because of his stammer, and so I told him, "You do it, Owen. You do it, because we need people like you out there. We need people like you out there, because I keep on saying it, like a broken record." I'm sorry, Jesus. That we are creative, we are resourceful, we are courageous, and we are resilient. And if you want to be a journalist, you do it, Owen. I am in your corner cheering you on. Because I believe in you. And so,
Yeah,
what I tell,
know.
what I tell everybody, if you have a dream, chase your dreams. Because the old Pedro, I was afraid. Ooh, Pixie. I was afraid for decades. Because all that I heard, growing up with having a severe stutter was that I was stupid.
Yep.
And that I would never amount to anything in this world. And so, after you hear that day after day after day after day, you tend to, believe it. However,
Yeah.
at a point in my life, I broke that cycle. I broke it. And so I had it in my head, I am going to chase my dreams. And that's what I'm doing. And I mean, it's amazing, Pixie. It is amazing. At that point in my life, I broke the cycle. And now a whole new world has opened up, Pixie. And it's amazing. I'm proud. So yeah. Whew. I got goosebumps.
I'm proud of you. You're so inspirational.
I thank you. All right, so here's here's another hot topic. Are you ready, Pixie?
Okay, let's go.
Okay, we are going to talk about dating. As dating is hard for everybody. But if you have a stammer, a stutter, it's like a million times more difficult. How do you navigate dating with having a stammer?
Okay, so when my speech got back to stammering, my partner at the time was kind of understanding, but there was a few times, like when he was a little bit, what's the word? It's difficult to say because I don't want to put them down, but but I think there was a comment that he made when we were breaking up. And I think it was something to do like calling the landlord. And he was like, you do it. I was like, that I can't do that because I can't talk. And he was like, oh, really? You can't talk? Give it up. And I was just like, okay. And then similarly, I never really did like dating. But my partner after that, he accused me quite a lot of faking because he didn't understand. Never met anyone with a stammer. I'm just like, oh, I don't get it. You're a proper lad though. My current partner, though, like he's totally cool with it. Like, we have like proper laughs about it sometimes, but I have given him the, almost like permission, inverted commas, that like you can laugh when it's funny, because sometimes I sound like a goon. So I'm just like, when I do that, that's fine. You can laugh, but you cannot. I don't know who you are. You cannot laugh.
Ooh, Pixie. I mean, okay. So, later on, I'm going to ask you, this, question. However, I want to give you my answer. My stutter has taught me a great many things. And one thing it has taught me is who people truly are. And this is amazing. It shows me their personality.
Uh-huh.
For example, if I am talking to a person and if I have a block, and if the other person, is either, looking at their watch,
Oh, I hate that.
and doing other things, that tells me that they are not worthy of my time.
Yeah.
However, if there is a person that I am talking to, and if I have a block, and if they, touch my arm, or touch my hand, that tells me that they have compassion, and they have, common courtesy and decency and respect and patience. Then, and that, tells me, that is a person in which I need to have around me. And so with regards to, dating, there are a lot of people out there who are superficial. Yeah. However, there are people who, who will gravitate to you because they like you for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you have a stammer. It doesn't matter if you have a mohawk. It doesn't matter if you, it doesn't matter because they like you for you. And so what I tell everybody is it is going to happen. It will happen. And so, all that you have to be is open and patient. But yeah, it will happen. Yeah. So that's just me.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go, Pixie. We're almost done. So I want to ask you this. What do you think about all this new technology? We have Google Home, we have Alexa, and then we have Siri. Do you think all this new technology is helpful or hurtful for people who stutter?
I can't really talk obviously for everybody. I can only ever go from my own experience. I got an Alexa, I think, for the just looking at her now to make sure she's not going to light up. We're safe. I got the Alexa last year, and I never got on with her. Unless I shout at her, I tend to block or repeat. And she's like, "Sorry, I do not understand you." And I've never used Siri because I'm just like, well, it's going to be the same thing. But I guess it could probably be maybe a helpful tool in some way. But for me, I was just like, I don't need a robot telling me. They don't get me either.
Pixie, okay? I never thought about that. Oh, in all of the 5 years I've been doing this awesome podcast, I never thought about that. They don't like me either.
Sorry, I did not understand you. Oh, you and after well. Don't worry about it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Let me take a breath. That's one more thing I'm going to worry about. No, it's kidding.
Oh no.
Just kidding, Pixie. I'm over it. All right. I thank you for that. And so here is the interesting thing. When I ask everyone on my podcast this specific question, half of them tell me it is a way to have them, rehearse and practice, because it isn't a human. it's a robot. It's like, okay. And then the other half, they're like, no, I don't really use it. And so for me, I gave up on them a long time ago because, they don't give you enough time to respond. I need at least 8 hours to breathe and do my yoga, my mindful meditation, my positive affirmations. They don't give you enough time to respond. However, I do have some good news, Miss Pixie-Ray Price. I was a part of 2 studies at here in the U.S. 2 colleges had reached out to me to participate in a study, and they are creating an algorithm to help people who stutter to handle the Google Homes and the Alexas and and everything else. So I mean, there's hope on the horizon because I need 8 hours to just breathe. That's just me. All right, so Pixie, what is a challenge speech-wise that you had to overcome, and how did you do it?
So I think it's only been like it. So in the last few months is really where when I got into TikTok, and I saw another creator like challenging herself by going to drive-throughs and stuff. And like before that, I had a different account where I just like do like lip syncing and little dances. But I was like, after watching her for a while and seeing how much her confidence has come on and her speech come on, I was like, I'm going to give that a go. So yeah, I tried to challenge myself probably once, like every 2 weeks, because I don't want to burn myself out, and I do film it. In the hopes of, like helping to raise awareness, because people have, well, not all people, but some people can have such a one-track mind of what a stammer looks like. So I'm like, well, no, like their stammer is this is my stammer, this is your stammer. Like it's not all the same. So I try and do that every couple of weeks. The first time I did it, I think was September, when I went to Starbucks, and that was like the first time that I used my own voice in a real environment, and oh my goodness, I'm surprised that I didn't go into cardiac arrest.
And that is a wonderful video. Let me tell you, Pixie, you talk about courage. You are the epitome of courage. I love that video. And you were talking about the other girl who was on TikTok who did it. I have reached out to her, so hopefully I will have her on my podcast also. So that would be awesome. Yes. So I mean, I put it out there. I have, I'm emailed her people, so it's all good. It's all positive.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have answered this just briefly, Pixie, just briefly, but I want the whole answer because you're hashtag phenomenal. So I want to ask you the whole question because I want the whole answer. So I got to hold it because it's a powerful question. All right.
Okay. Oh my God.
Okay. Do you think it's okay to stutter, or is it important to keep chasing the fluency gods?
I wholeheartedly I'm all for open stuttering. I think I've tried a lot of the fluency techniques that they recommended to me, and I personally find it like more effort than it's worth. I'm like, I would just rather let my words come out when they feel like it, rather than also panicking about using my diaphragm to inhale on at a certain point. And plus, like, that aside, like, this stammering and stuttering, it needs to be more what's the word? More. Oh, this could be such a profound statement, but in my head, it's going no. There's so many celebrities which apparently have a stutter or a stammer, and we've never heard it. People need to start hearing it so that they're not so shocked when they do encounter it. Which will then hopefully, like reduce the ha ha ha, you don't know your own name, or spit it out, try again. If more people are willing to use their own voice, then just imagine like how diverse this entire world can be, to the point where we don't bat an eyelid anymore. Does that make sense?
Oh my God. It's wonderful, Pixie. It's wonderful. I mean, if you could see all these goosebumps, because we need to be out there, Pixie. We need to be out there and to be heard. We need to take up space, because what we say, it matters. It matters. Our voices, they matter. So yes, I agree 100%. We need to be out there. And believe me, I mean, if I'm ever, called upon, hopefully, to do an interview on ABC or CBS or, anywhere, you best believe I am going to represent, because we are amazing. We are amazing individuals, and we need to take up space and have our voices heard, because we matter. We matter. So awesome answer. So here is a deep question.
Another one. Like,
I'm telling you, this it's my job, Pixie. This is my job, Pixie. Here we go. Okay, hold on. And back to one. All right, here we go. So, what has stuttering taught you?
Patience. Patience. I never see the bad in people, like whatever their differences are, because I get it, and I think that's what made me such a good teacher's aide. Like, working with a child with autism, or a child with ADHD, or a child with cerebral palsy, I was like, I don't see that. I just see you as amazing, and everybody is different in their little way. I think we're strong. I think we are resilient, and I think that we when we use our voice, we are brave.
Ooh, Pixie, I love that. I love that. All right, so here is a question that's going to be a little emotional, but it's all good. It's all good, because our space here is a safe space. A safe space. What advice would you give to your younger self?
So, don't try to fit the mold. Don't try to fit in. You're a little bit different, but that's what makes you so magical. Don't let it win. And like, not the speech. Just don't let society mold you into this little ice cube mold that it wants to give you. I think that's what I would say.
Ooh, Pixie. Pixie.
Sorry.
No. I mean, that's amazing. That is amazing. And this is the first time that I have ever asked this question. And so I want to give you my answer. If that's okay with you.
Yeah.
So what I would tell my younger self is, you are going to be alone, for quite some time, and you're going to be in the darkness for a while. But what I want you to know, that you are going to come out of it. There are going to be people who love you and adore you.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And that you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And you're going to shine.
Oh,
you are
it.
you are going to shine.
I'm glad that you can't see me right now.
I wish I had your video on. And so you are going to be okay, and you are going to be fantastic, and you are going to be awesome. And just know that you are okay, and you are loved, and you are safe. So, woo, Pixie. Okay.
Oh my God. Pedro. Hey.
Okay. Okay. All right. So here is our last question, and it's a big one, Pixie. It's a big one. I know, it's a big one. So if you had the opportunity to give insight about stuttering on the world stage, what message would you convey?
Oh, I don't know, because I wouldn't be able to shut up. But in regards to the speech, I think it's going back to what it's a for. Obviously, echoed with everything that you've just said about that there will be dark times. I'm surprised that it just came into my brain actually about an ice cube mold. That's just because I've got a thing about pickles at the minute, and I want to make pickle pops. But like, I'm going to have to really sit and think about this, because now I've got my brain twigging. Like, like when you put water into an ice cube, and there's those bits that spill over, and they really get on your nerves, because you're just like, for God's sake, just stay in there. Why are you not a perfect ice cube? Having a stammer is a little bit like that. Like, the fundamental, like, bigger bit of what you want to say, the bits are going to spill. But everyone still likes ice. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to try and write a poem about it.
Okay. All right.
Because I like my analogy.
Okay, now, that will be your homework for our next one, in which I'll send over to you a webcam. And so that way, I want to have you answer that specific a question. All right?
Okay, that sounds cool.
All right. And so I have to tell you, Pixie, I mean, it has been over 2 hours, and the time has flown by. I've had the best conversation with you. You are such a bright light in our community. And so I truly believe there's healing in sharing. So I want to thank you for sharing your journey with me today.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much. Also, really enjoyed talking to you. Peepees! Yay!
Okay, now, in 2023, hopefully within the next, a couple months, I want to do it again with a webcam. And so that way I can see, because I know you always have on the cat ears. And I mean, you are just a delight on video. And so, we will do this again, because I think you are just #awesome and courageous and amazing and and phenomenal. And so, I want to just, I tell you, thank you. I've had the best time talking to you today.
Today. Yay.
All right. Well, you have an awesome evening. You take care. Oh, well, hold on. I forgot this one thing. Oh my God. I'm so carried away. All right. So Pixie. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm old. Okay. Pixie. Okay. This podcast and I'm all blessed, is in 121 countries on 6 continents. So if any of my amazing, listeners from all over the world, if they want to reach out to you, what is the best way to have that accomplished?
Okay, that is so awesome. But by the way, what an amazing achievement! Well done, you. Woo woo. But if people want to find me, I'm mostly active on TikTok as Pixie_Smiles, or Instagram as Pixie-Ray Smiles, all one word. So yeah, that's my 2 platforms that I use the most.
All right, awesome. I will have those hyperlinks in the podcast show notes, and so that way anyone all over the world can go hit that hyperlink and find you and know how amazing that you are. So I want to thank you just one more time. You are phenomenal, amazing, outstanding, fantastic. There aren't enough words. Pixie-Ray Price. I hope you have an amazing evening. Take care, be well, and stay safe.
What will flip you?
I thank you so much.
If you like this podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you for listening, and we will talk again.